I'm excited to have you here this morning. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Conversations with Cheryl. I am Cheryl Mays, your host with the most, and I'm so excited to have you here this morning, as always. This is going to be our final episode of season 1, and we saved the best for last.
Oh, you're too sweet.
My dear friend, Bob Kucher with Pencil. Bob is going to be here to share some information with us about what is happening with Pencil. But first, Bob, go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Good morning, Cheryl. Thank you again for always thinking of Pencil. Thank you for thinking of me. I adore you. My name is Bob Kucher. I'm the Vice President of Partnerships and Programs for Pencil. And I was sharing with Cheryl earlier that I will be celebrating my 7th anniversary at Pencil this August. And so we were talking about how time flies by.
It really does. I just can't believe it's been 7 years, and I've been engaged with Pencil since, wow, it's been before I was on the school board. So it's been a lot of years now. So I think I need to have some sort of celebration, maybe a half-century celebration or something like that. I think it's been forever. I can't imagine. But anyway, Pencil is one of my favorite organizations to work with because, and we were talking about this earlier, you guys do so much to support our babies, my babies. And that's what I call every single one of my kids that are in metro schools. They will always be my babies. So thank you so much for everything that Pencil continues to do. So let's jump in because I've got some questions for you this morning.
Okay.
So first I want to talk a little bit about, tell everybody who's listening who may not know, tell us what Pencil does. What does Pencil do in the community and in our schools?
Sure, absolutely. First and foremost, I think it's, speaking of time and anniversaries, Pencil turns 40 next year.
Shut up, 40?
Pencil has been in supporting MNPS for almost 40 years.
That's amazing.
So a staple within this community, providing support to teachers and to students. And so,
oh my gosh.
Stay tuned for some big party plans coming from Pencil. The big
I'm so ready.
4-0 coming next year.
Oh my, 40 years. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I'm ready. I'm ready to party with Pencil.
I like to say that Pencil is a small but mighty team. Mm-hmm. Small but mighty team. And we are 22 staff members strong. We have a phenomenal, amazing governing board. A large board in consideration, 60 members of industry professionals from across the city who are so engaged with Pencil in a variety of ways, providing leadership, of course, for the organization, but coaching individual staff members and really volunteering hours, whether that be in schools or, as I'll talk about soon, our LP Pencil Box school supply store. But one other wonderful fact regarding Pencil's leadership is 2 years ago, Pencil started a young leaders board for industry professionals that are under the age of 40. And so we have a small group of approximately 25 individuals on our small leaders board. And I love the fact that that particular board mimics the demographics of our schools, which is a wonderful thing.
I love it.
And with our 22 staff members, I'd like to say that Pencil works in 3 big buckets, 3 signature programs, as I would call that. And our mission at Pencil is really linking community resources to Metro Nashville Public Schools to ensure students' academic success and making sure that they're prepared for life. Mm-hmm. And that mission has been the same for 39 years. And I also have to say, Cheryl, I know you know this fact, but Pencil is an acronym.
Yes. And I want you to share that because I think a lot of people don't realize that. I think, and so I'll say this, and I'm going to out myself here for a little bit. So when I first heard of Pencil, I was like, well, that's a really cool name for an organization that supports Metro schools, because immediately I thought, well, Pencil, they just, took a pencil and said, yeah, this is it. But tell everybody what the acronym stands for.
Absolutely. Public education needs community involvement and leadership.
See, that's great.
Public education needs community involvement and leadership.
That is awesome.
Our tagline is because public education is everyone's business.
Yes.
And it is.
There's
a place for everyone to sit at this table for sure.
It is. And so one of the ways that I have continued to be involved with Pencil is as a business partner. I've been a business partner in Metro Schools for 13 years now. Wow. Something like that. We keep talking about time, and I'm starting to think about all of this stuff that's happening as it relates to time. But yeah, I've been involved in Metro Schools, specifically with Antioch High School. I am now a business partner at large, so that means I'm involved with all of the schools. I can go wherever they need me. So that makes me happy because I get to work with all of my babies, but specifically with Antioch High School and my alma mater, Whites Creek High School. So those are the two that are near and dear to my heart, but also Cane Ridge because it's also in my community. But thank you for sharing that information about Pencil. And I know that there are a lot of people who are already involved. And at one point, and I don't remember the number of business partners we have right now, but I know it's well over 300. So if there's someone out there who is interested in working with Pencil or creating a partnership, how would they do that? Talk about how Pencil goes through the process of getting business partners on board.
Sure, we have a very systematic approach. We have what we call our Pencil partnership model, our Pencil partnership continuum. I'm going to blow your mind, Cheryl. The number 350 business partners, that number is specific to the academies of Nashville. 350 business partners engaged in sustained relationships at the academy level. The total number of business partners that are sustained across the district in all tier levels is around 720.
Are you kidding me? And that's on all levels, elementary, middle, and high school. Wow. Wow. Absolutely.
So as we talk about this Pencil partnership continuum and this model that we've been able to develop over time, the system and the structures that we have put into place around partnership work not only helps us sustain the relationship and grow the impact, but also helps us really share the story of measuring the amount of time and energy and in-kind contributions and really monitor the health of each relationship as well. And so the model is used in all three of our signature programs. And I would love just to start with talking a little bit about the Louisiana Pacific Pencil Box.
Yes, please.
You'll hear folks say the box or LP box, but Louisiana Pacific Pencil Box, Louisiana Pacific is a major contributor to the success of our program, as well as the Rogers Group and Dollar General and gosh, so many other phenomenal corporations and businesses that support this particular program. The LP Pencil Box is a brick and mortar warehouse on the west side of town off of Cockrell Bend Boulevard. It was a gift basically from the Rogers Group. It gave us phenomenal square footage to increase our distribution. And the box works like this. It's very much volunteer run. So we need volunteers to accept product that's coming in from our business partners and our network. We're part of a Kids in Need network nationally. And so brand new school supplies come to our dock. Business volunteers and individual volunteers help us unload trucks, count and sort and inventory, and then ultimately stock the shelves of the store. And this is where it's really fun. I think business partners come in, they're able to meet teachers who have signed up for a shopping experience, and every single Metro Nashville Public School teacher can shop at the LP Pencil Box 4 times a year for free. Each shopping trip equates to around $250 worth of goods for each trip.
So I'm sorry, Bob. Could you say one more time, at what cost is that to teachers?
Zero cost. And every shopping experience equates to about $250 worth of goods in your buggies. And these are brand new supplies, right? From crayons to markers to book bags to composition books. And a variety of other things. And so our business partners are there to help our teachers shop and pack boxes and load their cars and wish them well and maybe have a treat or two on the way out the door. Another number that I have to share with you, as the box continues to grow, even during this year of COVID, the LP Pencil Box has distributed over $2.2 million worth of goods to teachers and students this year. We still have a couple weeks to go in this fiscal year, so the number's still ticking, but it's just amazing what volunteerism can do. to support and celebrate teachers' work. And so that's nothing next to phenomenal. And here's another wonderful fact about the LP Pencil Box. One of our board committees has been investigating teacher shopping and teacher supply district, how supplies have been distributed across the district. And what we know to be true, because our stores on the west side of town, it's difficult for teachers in your district, your area, your neighborhood, right? On the southeast side, Cane Ridge, Antioch, and their feeder schools to get across town.
Right.
You know, after school. So we do have evening hours, we do have Saturday hours, but here's something phenomenal. We are working, and it'll be announced soon, I'm sure. But the hopes is that there will be a sister store in the Southeast.
That makes me super happy.
Our goal is to open up our sister store in January 2022, somewhere, you know, in the Southeast arena. And we already have a couple of business partners that are showcasing space that they would provide to Pencil to do this work. So that's very exciting as well. That
makes me super happy, especially because Southeast Nashville is historically known for having the largest group of young people in our schools. We have never been underutilized in our schools in this area. In fact, we've always been overutilized, if that makes sense. But that will be amazing. That will be amazing. And I'm here for it. I'm here to celebrate it. Call me when it's ready. I want to see this space. Now I'm excited. That makes my Saturday.
Stay tuned. We'll be knocking on your door. I know it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that information. So let me ask you this. If I am new, we've got a lot of businesses that are coming into the area, a lot of new organizations, corporations. If they are looking to get involved, who do they contact?
Sure, absolutely. So our website, which I put into the chat, pencil4schools.org, is a great first stop. In that website, see big, broad brushstrokes of our signature programs like the one I just described. Part of our model that I just was talking about earlier is that Pencil staff has a monthly intake meeting. We call it an intake meeting. And this is specific for individuals or corporations, businesses, universities, churches, what have you, to come and sit for 60 minutes with Pencil staff in a structured conversation to understand all things Pencil, so that that individual or that representative from the company can think about, okay, where do we fit in? We have this menu now. We have this menu of ways in which to engage, whether that is with students, not with students, at the box, in a school. And so we provide them all of that information during our monthly intake meetings. The next one's coming up on July the 15th and then August the 10th. And so they happen monthly, as I said, and it's a great first step.
Awesome. Now, do the meetings happen at the Pencil location in West Nashville?
So currently they're virtual.
Okay.
They used to happen in person. And very soon, I would imagine in the August date that I gave, August the 10th, I think it will be more of a hybrid opportunity. What we're realizing is that this new way of life that we've all been living for the past 13, 14 months, whatever it has been, allows for greater participation if it is in a hybrid kind of situation. So I'm firm believing that we will continue that type of opportunity for people to join.
I think this has been one of the best learning opportunities for everybody. And so I share this on every one of the broadcasts that I've had. One of my dear friends shared with me the pandemic pearls. She talked about the pandemic pearls, and I asked what that meant, and she basically said that the pandemic pearls are those great things that are happening throughout this pandemic. We can all get into this, oh my gosh, I'm sick of this and blah, 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 but think about the really good things that are happening. And one of the things for me that has happened during this time is that ability to reach a wider audience. Because you are not limited to just being in person in a space of 10 or 15 people. Now, for instance, from Pencil, when you have these virtual events, you don't have to just be in the borders of Nashville. You can go outside the state of Tennessee and get that same support. So I love that. That's one of the pandemic pearls for me. The other thing is learning to pivot. And you mentioned that this hybrid type of environment that we're moving into that will likely be our new normal, that's one of the pivot points for me. I've learned that what I can do without being in person and what I can not live without being in person. And one of those things has given me an opportunity to engage a lot more with organizations like Pencil in this sort of platform. I miss my Pencil family. I miss being able to hug my Pencil family, and I miss those ongoing engagements. But I thank you for being able to, for recognizing that there's a different way to do this and we can all get engaged. I do want to ask you about this. Now, you kind of touched on this a little bit. There are lots of different ways to get engaged. And I want to be sure that people understand that just because you're not that school type person doesn't mean you can't get engaged. How about you write a check?
You can definitely do that. There's lots of ways to support financially for Pencil. Obviously, Pencil raises its operating budget. We have a phenomenal Kelly Roth, who's our Vice President of Development and Marketing, has a small team. We do live on corporate donations and individual giving donations. And so, yes, there's the way to support the work of Pencil through financial contributions, and we greatly appreciate that.
Yeah.
We hope to increase that so we can increase staff and increase student support over time. Cheryl, going back to this idea of supporting students and teachers virtually, I want to give you a great example, and I'll go into the second bucket of another signature program, which is our partnership work, and that partnership continuum that I talked about. Think about Pencil as the matchmaker, right? Think about Pencil understanding the needs of a specific school, and then understanding where the resource may lie out in the community.
Right.
And that's how we start to be that matchmaker.
Right.
And we start to generate this relationship, this win-win relationship, because we want to provide that resource so that teachers and students can be more successful, but we also want to change the culture of a company so that the company understands the importance of public education. You know this, I'm sure the viewers on the call today know this. A healthy public school system equates to a vibrant city and a healthy city.
Right.
And whether that's businesses that are looking to create a pipeline for future employment, or whatever their goals may be, we as a matchmaker have to make that connection easy. And so that's what the model does. One example that I want to give to you that I think is very exciting, thinking about the 350 business partners that support the Academies of Nashville experiential learning model. I was just on a Zoom call on Tuesday with a new business partner, Jacobs Engineering. Might not be familiar because they're based out of Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Really?
But they are now officially connected with Stratford High School.
Awesome.
They have had representation at their advisory board meetings. And on Tuesday, Jacobs Engineering's contacts decided that they wanted to have a global conversation. So there were individuals on this call from Dallas, Texas. And what was so interesting is that individuals from other cities were like, oh, I love this model. And we can engage virtually.
Yes.
Through what we call our Proudly Pencil virtual learning series, which I can talk a little bit about. I think we have time. And so this whole idea of engaging with students doesn't stop necessarily at the Davidson County line.
Exactly.
So we're really looking forward to this new relationship for Stratford. And as I said, the model is one in which specific communications will happen between the company and the school, making sure that there's a plan, that the relationship is very intentional. What are the targets? What are the goals? How are we going to measure this? How are we going to celebrate this and story share what's happening? And so Pencil does a great job, I think, in tandem with the district and others to share stories and to really put that out there of the impact of partnered work.
Yeah.
Think about
I just think about how amazing that is going to be for our young people, because it gives them an opportunity to go way outside of what they would consider the norm. Being able to connect with business partners in different, not just in a different city, but in different states, and learning about what each of those departments do. That raises the bar for what our kids are able to experience. So that makes me happy. And thank you for sharing that. That's a great story.
Absolutely. I spoke briefly about our Proudly Pencil virtual learning series, and this was an idea that was birthed by one of the Pencil staff members, partnership manager Esther Bailey Bass, who manages relationships in the Southeast. So
Yes,
again,
yes.
yep. Esther's phenomenal. She had this idea, and over the course of the year, working with obviously the partnership team, but a few interns, it's just a wonderful addition to how business partners can engage. Simply at the high school level, it's about business professionals providing a virtual job shadow experience or a virtual field trip, or actually doing a video on professional preparedness. And so you can see all these videos on Pencil's YouTube channel, and educators and teachers and academy coaches have access to these videos so they can download them into their curriculum. And
Nice.
these videos, I mean, we've created tips and tricks and best practices, and they're quite phenomenal, I have to say. They're just, and I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, I looked at the number. There's 131 businesses that have created videos for us. There's been well into like a 4,000 viewing or clicks, if you will.
Wow.
So we know they're being used. We had a testimonial the other day during the Pencil board meeting from Whitney Patton, who's the academy coach at McGavick High School. And we had seen a video from our good friend, Lynn Maynor.
Love Lynn.
And Lynn Maynor was describing and talking about a book that she loves, The Six Thinking Hats. And talking about how that book and its contents really connect to gen ed classrooms and so forth. And so we watched a snippet of that during the board meeting. And then Whitney joined us via Zoom and talked about the impact that video has with connections to gen ed teachers and CTE teachers. And just another way for business partners who might currently not be able to get into the classroom to be the traditional guest speaker. This virtual learning series, Proudly Pencil, is a great way to engage.
And I love that. I love that idea. And again, that takes us back to just because you can't be that traditional business partner doesn't mean you don't have anything to give. So I love that idea. I'm going to be checking that out and sharing the links on my Facebook page as well. So thank you for bringing that to the forefront too. So clearly everybody can see, if you didn't know about Pencil, you definitely know about the amazing things that Pencil has done and continues to do for Metro School students. So what kind of events are upcoming, Bob? What can we look forward to?
Sure. So I think the biggest event that I'd love to tout during this opportunity is an event that began last year as a request that came from Dr. Adrienne Battle. She came to Pencil with an idea, and Together for Teachers was created, which is a back to school celebration, if you will, where every MNPS teacher is recognized with a rather large, substantial bag of teacher goods. So I want to make that clear that when you come to the box, it's about mostly supplies for students.
Right.
So we wanted to make sure that teachers had what they needed in their classrooms. And so everything from whiteboard markers to, a real true pair of adult scissors.
Not the kitty scissors?
But how about a stapler that doesn't break every week or two, right? Like really good, high quality teacher products. Yeah.
Wow.
And
big people things.
Yeah. So we're in year 2, where this will happen at the beginning of August. We have some phenomenal sponsors coming to the table to support this event, but please know, packing 5,500 bags of goods takes a little army. So there's a packathon planned for volunteers to sign up. It'll be coming soon. Sign up, come and help us pack these bags. Great. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but I'm going to go ahead and take a risk.
Oh, it's just you and me. Nobody else is going to ever hear this. Wink, wink.
So in year 2, now last year was quite successful, and now during year 2 planning, Dr. Battle said, how can we do it bigger? How can we do it better? How can we? And so Dr. Battle had a vision of, how about a pep rally? How about a pep rally for everybody?
Oh my gosh, I love that idea.
And how about we include all the sports mascots? And how about we include all the bands from the colleges and how, I love that big creative thinking. And so I can just say that I'm pretty sure this pep rally is happening. I can't give the
Oh my
location.
gosh. Well, you know what? I will say this. Dr. Battle, when she was the executive principal at Antioch High School, she would always say, go big or go home. And clearly she has not stopped that as the director of schools. So I'm loving it.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm so fortunate. Pencil's so fortunate. The district is so fortunate to have our current CEO at Pencil, Angie Adams. And when you talk about Dr. Battle saying "go big or go home," I that is Angie Adams' motto as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's completely understandable why those two are friends and why they get along so well. And
So now you put these two go big or go home powerhouses together, and
and
the next thing you know,
in the staff
exactly.
sweats.
It's like, okay, what are we going to have to do now? But I love it. I love Angie. I love Dr. Battle. The work that they are doing together is simply phenomenal. And I love seeing how our kids are the direct recipients of these power women thinking through different ways of engagement. So I love that. And I love you. You are, I won't say you're my favorite because I don't want all the other pencil people to get jealous, but you're really, really at the top. So
Well,
there you have it. So we've got a couple minutes left. Do you want to give us any additional information that how do we, what do we need to do? I know that you've got volunteer opportunities coming up for packing these bags, and I'll be there. I'm going to volunteer right now. I will be there. But what else is happening? What else can we do?
Sure. I think the immediate request that I would have is that if anybody is on social media, please find Pencil, and you can find Pencil 4, the number 4 schools. So I put the website in, which is Pencil 4 schools written out, but our social media channel is Pencil 4, the number 4 schools. And you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Obviously, you can find us also on LinkedIn. All of those channels push out different types of stories and information and volunteer opportunities. Great. So if you're on social media, please befriend us, follow us. The website, again, is a great place to look for general information about all of the upcoming events and different programs. Okay. And you can find all the staff contact information there as well. Picture of, Bob and Bob's email address, Bob's cell phone number. You can contact us very easily. If you're interested in coming to one of the intake meetings, I would simply ask you email me, and I'll get you the link to come to either the July or the August intake meeting. And it's a great first step.
I love it. I love it. And I will say to anybody who's listening, getting involved with the Pencil has been the I guess the biggest reward that I've had. It has provided an opportunity for me to stay engaged with my babies over many, many years. And so I'm so thankful for Angie and Bob and the entire staff at Pencil, because you guys are always amazing. And I can tell anybody who wants to get involved who are like, I don't really know them. Trust me, they are family. And it shows with everything that they do. They're first and foremost, and this is why I love working with Pencil, you keep our kids, our babies first, always, in your planning, in your thinking, in your movements. I thank you for that. And so you will never be rid of me, sir, just so you know.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be.
You're always going to have me there. So I do thank you for joining me today. Again, thank you to my friend Bob Kucher with Pencil. And I will be sharing the social information, the website information. So I'm hoping that everybody will jump on and get into volunteer, figure out how you can partner with your schools. We always need business partners. Just because there's almost 800 right now doesn't mean we don't need more. Or 9, what was it? What was the number? Total
720,
number?
but 720. As we say, there's public education is everyone's business. It's Pencil's responsibility to figure out how you can plug in and make it right and feel good for everybody. So.
Absolutely. I'd like to see a day when I talk to you, Bob, and you say, We now have 2,000 business partners across our schools. I'm looking forward to that day, and I know that it's possible because Nashville continues to grow, and there are some amazing people who want to get involved in public education in Nashville. So again, thank you everyone for tuning in this morning. You can always watch the rebroadcast on my YouTube channel. Catch us on our podcast, My Toolbox Podcast, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And here's a great thing, kind of sad. This is our last broadcast until later in the fall, but we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to come back in probably August with some more amazing guests. So stay tuned, and thank you all for tuning in as always, and have a fantastic Saturday. And Bob, thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you, Cheryl.